Today we will be exploring the theme of women and their thoughts on children through poetry by Linda Pastan and Gwen Harwood. Women live their lives with many thoughts that run through their minds, particularly regarding children and the joys or burdens, some may say, of motherhood. How a child should be raised, how a child will be provided for. Will the child become a successful contributing adult to the world? Endless heart-wrenching questions will forever run through the minds of a woman until the day they find out for themselves. Throughout the poems of Linda and Gwen, the theme of women and their thoughts on children will be heard and felt through the tone, diction, connotations, and imagery of the writers throughout their poetry. A quotation from Linda Pastan in her poem To a Daughter Leaving Home that helps to develop these points is, "The hair flapping behind you like a handkerchief waving goodbye." The essence of this quotation shows how the mother sees her daughter riding off on her bicycle, knowing that only with time she will no longer be coming home. In other words, mothers raise their children and teach them everything they know, hoping that they will one day grow up to be strong and live successfully on their own. However, they also feel loneliness and distance from their children as they start to learn more. They no longer need their immediate direct assistance, which creates a void emotionally for mothers. For example, come the time when the child is sent off to college by their parents and they are living on dorm, they wave them goodbye with tears in their eyes, one side being proud of their child for going to college, yet on the other side being sad that they will no longer be with them, safe in their home. An analogy to better describe this would be like a double-edged sword. While it is the ultimate goal to raise the child to one day become fully self-sufficient, it is also sad to see your own child grow and no longer need the assistance of your loving hand from the mother that raised them. Moving to Gwen Harwood's poem, In the Park, that helps develop the point. She sits in the park. Her clothes are out of date. Two children whine and bicker, tug at her skirt. The essence of this quotation shows the imagery of wearing outdated clothes, showing that children are the mother's first priority and that her efforts must be put forth upon them first and foremost. In other words, as the children tug at her skirt, the mother is reminded that her attention is demanded by her children, showing the thoughts bestowed upon the mother that it is expected that they must raise and grow their children and put themselves last. For example, the connotations and imagery in the quotation, "To the wind she says, they have eaten me alive," evoke the depth of feeling exhausted and depleted as a mother and the efforts it takes to entertain the three children at the park and at their rehearsed birthday celebrations year after year. A child's dependency on a mother for every ounce of a child's needs is taking her everlasting breath away. To give you an analogy, a child and a mother is like a sponge and water. Water is needed to fill a sponge to lather and clean a surface, but once that water is consumed by the sponge, it is no longer available. It is taken to use to clean, and when the water is given back, it is soiled and no longer clean. The energy a mother gives is consumed by a child and rarely given back in return. The exhaustion will eventually consume the mother and ultimately take them for granted, just like the water in a sponge. Motherhood in poetry is so expertly written and described by Gwen Harwood and Linda Pastan, where the use of imagery, tone, and connotations shows a depth of emotion and passion for the theme women and their thoughts on children. Through raising them to see them grown and successful as they ride off on their bicycles and wave goodbye, to the depths of exhaustion on every ounce of every energy taken for every birthday celebration and days at the park. Every woman and their thoughts on children can vary so differently. The efforts a woman puts into raising a child should never be taken for granted, and women everywhere should be reminded of just how amazing they are for both the joy and burden of raising children. The nature of emotions through the journey of motherhood, and how resoundingly different those emotions can be from mother to mother, should never be forgotten.